back to my channel. So I want to talk about a few recent Love After Lockup updates. First, let's start off with the small one. So Red posted on Facebook that on Christmas, he ended up sending Joinomi $100 for Sway. And him and Joinomi are currently not together, but he says he's still trying to be in Sway's life. So that was nice of him to still try to help Sway out on Christmas. Sway wasn't the only one surprised on Christmas, though. Melissa was surprised when Louie decided to pop up in New Jersey and surprise her for Christmas. And it looks like they had a great time. And then the day after Christmas, Taylor announced that she just started her new job. She's currently doing orientation. She loves it so far, but she has to drive like an hour away for orientation every day. Hopefully her job's a little bit closer, but I'm so happy to see Taylor working and becoming more independent. And while we're on the topic of Taylor, her ex Chance, we all remember that he recently had a hit and run after he ended up running into a semi. And we got to see a few of the video clips from the news station clip I shared. But now we have a better close-up look of the damage that was done from Chance's truck. And it's just a miracle that they both made it out without really serious injuries. This could have been way worse. This could have easily been another Asante situation. The wife of the driver that Chance hit shed more light. She said it's a miracle he didn't. The rig was completely crushed except the driver's seat. I'm still having trouble sleeping at night, and the driver was my husband. She said it's rough. I had to pass the wreck to get to the hospital. I actually was on scene about an hour after it happened, and then again later that day when they're attempting to move the truck. I also helped him get stuff out of his rig afterwards at the towing company, so I was all up on the truck. He thought he just had a road rash basically on his shoulder, and about day 2 after the wreck, he was having a lot of pain and went back to the hospital. He has to see an orthopedic surgeon now. He's still out of work. Having a major wreck on him will have issues getting another job driving, even though it's not his fault if he's let go from the company that he's at. And then someone said, I'm so sorry, what happened? And then she said he ran a stop sign talking about Chance, and he pulled out in front of my husband on a major highway. We believe he didn't have his headlights on. Not 100% on that one though. The rig rolled off the left side of the road. He was on his second roll when the truck came to stop on its top. The pickup went off the right side, and the driver of the pickup got out of the passenger side and fled the scene. There's more to it, but I can't put it on here so I don't jeopardize the case. And now I want to talk about Latisha. So it seems like every week is something else with Latisha. So Latisha has claimed that she is a licensed accountant, and even in her business Instagram bio, she says that she's providing licensed professional tax, accounting, and business services to all 50 states. Well, come to find out, Latisha is not even a licensed accountant.
I filed a police report, and I have my attorney on it as well. But I found out that I'm hearing that she's not really a CPA, and she took me for $11,000. And so I'm trying to get this ball rolling to get her stopped, because she's a very fraudulent person.
Okay, what's her name?
So she has 2 different names, but I just found out that it's Latisha, LATISHA, and she either goes by Collier, COLLIER, or Griffin.
GRIFFIN.
Yes. And her supposed firm is Boss Tax and Accounting Services.
Do you have something where she says that she's a CPA?
I don't know if I have something specifically that says she's a CPA, but when I hired her to do my back accounting work and all my stuff, that's what she claimed to be. I was looking for a CPA to hire.
Okay.
She was recently, and I know this is going to get messy, and I'm just throwing it out there just so you're aware. She was recently on Love during Lockup, and she was her husband that's, I guess, in prison for like 10 years, or new husband, I don't even know if they're really married, but she was trying to get him to start working for her firm, Boss Tax and Accounting, and He's in prison. It's just a mess. I didn't know this when I hired her. I'm learning all this since I've exposed her on social media. So, yeah, it's just a mess.
Okay. Well, I don't see that she's licensed.
She's not licensed?
No, I don't.
So that is Colleen, the girl that tried to pay Latisha $11,000 to do accounting services for her cleaning business, and Latisha just completely screwed her and didn't do anything at all and just ran off with her money. So she was on the phone with the Iowa Accountancy Examining Board, and I actually called afterwards and confirmed for myself that Latisha does not have a license. She has applied for one, but she has not been approved. I was doing research this afternoon, and I also found out that back in the days of the pandemic, Latisha took out 3 different PPP loans. So here is a PPP loan for her business, Boss Tax and Accounting Services. It has the 2332 Eastern Avenue, Suite 2 as her address. So remember that address. So it says it's for a new business or business that's been operating for 2 years or less, and she was given $20,625. It was all forgiven, and this was supposed to be for payroll for her employees. And then I thought it was interesting because at that same exact 2332 Eastern Avenue address, she got another PPP loan for a different business called Credit Boss. So it says that she has 7 different employees, and she got $78,125, and she got this loan a month after the other PPP loan for her Boss Tax and Accounting business. This just happens to be a new business at the same location, and when I tried to do some research to find information about this business, the only thing I could find was this Instagram page for Credit Boss, and it hasn't been active in over 153 weeks. It just seems like they built this Instagram page around the time she got the loan. She used it for a few months, and then she didn't use it again after that. And Latisha also got out a PPP loan for herself, claiming that she was a travel agent and she had 1 employee and she needed it for payroll. She got approved for this PPP loan about 8 months after her previous PPP loan, and it says she was approved in February 2021, and she was given $20,833. And it does say that business has been existing for more than 2 years, but I've never even heard of Latisha talking about being a travel agent. So within a 9-month period, Latisha was granted over $120,534.55 just between 3 PPP loans. Also, Latisha's came out on a few different YouTube channels trying to speak out, and she's been trying to say that Colleen was on drugs while she was pregnant, just saying whatever to try to deflect from what she did. And Colleen actually sent me from the hospital showing that when she had her baby, there was absolutely nothing in her system. And Latisha just seems to do that. She'll just start doing anything to take the spotlight off her. And now I want to talk about LIndsey and Blaine. So when I reported in my video about LIndsey and Blaine breaking up, I talked about how I had learned that her friend 6 that was with her in the last episode was her relative and was her aunt. So LIndsey says 6 is not my aunt. We have no relation. Fact checking is important. It would have taken 3 minutes to ask me rather than a source who's giving out inaccurate info. So I actually was talking to Deontay one day. We were talking about like the last episode because I was like, did you see that scene where she was picking up money from, that dude? That scene that was just so stupid. And he didn't see it. So I actually sent him a clip of this scene, and he's like, and he's like, that girl that she's with, that's LIndsey's aunt. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, when I was with LIndsey, she took me over to her trailer and we watched a whole bunch of old Love After Lockup episodes, like LIndsey and Scott's segments and Deontay and Nicole's. And I even asked Deontay again, I was like, just making sure that's her aunt. And that's what he was told by LIndsey, unless LIndsey was just trying to make it sound like her relative instead of telling Deontay, oh, that's one of my friends that I used to use with, and she was just trying to make it sound better. But according to him, that's exactly what she told him. So after I made that video talking about how her and Blaine broke up, I was just waiting for LIndsey to start posting old pictures, because she did the same thing when it came out that her and Deontay had broke up while she was with Blaine. She was trying to do all this damage control, like when she posted the picture with the date, and she ends up doing exactly that this morning. She posts these pictures with Blaine from when she went to go see her lawyer. So obviously those are old from back when she was filming, but some people are taking these as their recent when they're obviously not. And I think that's just her trying to confuse people and make people think that they're still together. It seems like now that they are broken up, the most they interact with each other is when they like each other's posts and sometimes comment from here to there. Like when she commented gloves, chest pads, knee pads, all the pads please, when he showed off his son getting a new dirt bike for Christmas. And then Blaine was like, I have some ordered. And you know, that's something you could easily just, you know, talk on the phone about, or if you're in person with each other. But you can tell they haven't talked in a hot minute, and he has to let her know through Instagram posts that he just ordered some gloves for his son. And when I did talk about my last video about LIndsey and Blaine, how Blaine, they showed a teaser where he's like, oh, you ran off with a married man. And I was like, man, I think he's talking about when she was kissing that dude in Cali. And LIndsey did a cameo for somebody on Reddit recently, and she said that she actually watches the Reddit, what people had to say about her, and she said that what people were saying on Reddit actually got in between her and Blaine's relationship and caused problems, and we're going to see those, you know, problems and fights unfold this season. And I have a feeling she's probably talking about this incident when this video got leaked by Cece and it was all over Reddit and YouTube. So here's her when she was kissing that dude in California, and the story behind this is during her season they ended up flying out all the cast members out, and that's her and Deontay's season. So Deontay, LIndsey, and I believe that's Kevin standing right next to them, and they had Sarah and Sean down there, and the rest of the cast for that season. I know Taylor and Chance were down there, and while they were down there they all were drinking, they were all staying at the same hotel, and LIndsey got so freaking drunk she started making out with this guy who has a wedding band on his finger. And apparently she got so drunk that when she got in the Uber afterwards on the way to the hotel, she ends up puking all over the Uber. And then when she gets back to the hotel, she's sitting there and she called Blaine because Blaine was concerned, and he's like, you know, you better call me if you go out. And he was really worried that she's gonna spend the night with Deontay, especially since they were staying in the same hotel together, and Blaine wasn't out there, Cece wasn't out there, and they've been hanging out the whole time that they're on that trip. So Blaine was calling LIndsey allegedly back to back, and she answered and she was all drunk, and Blaine was like, you better not be in Deontay's hotel room. And LIndsey was allegedly lying the whole time, like, no, I'm not in Deontay's room. She's literally sitting right next to Deontay in the same room, lying to Blaine the whole night. And so I just can tell, especially after seeing this video again and seeing that it looks like Kevin's right there, including the rest of the cast, and you just have like no shame at all knowing these people know you're with Blaine. I feel so bad for Blaine in this whole situation. I remember I asked LIndsey about this one time, and she tried to say that the dude pulled her in, but I have the actual video, and it's at least a couple seconds long, and she's leaning in and kissing the dude. She's not pulling away, she's not being forced, she's willingly going along for the go along. So as I talked about in my video a few days ago, people were calling out Blaine because he gave his son a Confederate flag for Christmas, and he also gifted his son a husky that was in a crate that was way too small. So people were commenting under his post calling him out, and someone said, look, you guys need to chill out for the crate. You have no idea if it was placed in there for 2 seconds to get these and give the surprise. It seriously could have been in a different surrounding just a few moments prior. So Blaine responded, and he said exactly what you said, where he didn't chew up all the presents long enough to surprise my son, and where Big Dog to kill it in front of my son until they get used to each other. I mean, so is he gonna keep it in the crate until the big dog gets used to it? Oh my goodness. He just needs to throw that crate away, and I feel like he should have had the dogs get used to each other before he decided to bring that puppy into the environment. So hopefully he didn't leave that dog in the cage long and he gets rid of that cage and gets a much bigger one that his dog can properly sit up and have a little bit of room to move around in. And just like a lot of people were saying, I don't know a lot about huskies, but a lot of people said that huskies are not good dogs. They keep up in cages all day long. They really need to burn energy and they're very hyper. So hopefully, you know, he's not going to be expecting to leave this dog caged up while he's working all the time, and actually lets him out and roam around and has plenty of room for him to play. Let's just hope that's the last we see of that dog in that specific cage. And LIndsey's ex, Deontay, is currently in Brazil. He finally got there today, and he's actually hanging out with this girl from Brazil, and I think they look cute together. They're not like actually boyfriend girlfriend, but they've been talking for a little bit. She picked him up from the airport. They don't speak the same language, but some people have been calling Deontay 90-day Deontay and saying he's gonna get on 90-day fiance next. And he is in Brazil because this YouTuber from Brazil called Okabone, he has over 805,000 subscribers, and they came out with Love After Lockup in Brazil, but they had Portuguese voice actors speak over, you know, what Nicole and Deontay are saying so they can understand it. And now Deontay has gotten a lot of attention and new fans from Brazil, so he decided to go out there and meet some people, and I guess tomorrow he's going to meet up with Okabone, and they're going to have like a camera crew following them around. And they're both gonna vlog the whole trip, and Okabone even said that this is an all-inclusive trip for Deontay. So I think Deontay had to pay for his ticket to get there, but he went to like a different part of Brazil to see this girl first. So Okabone is paying to fly Deontay from that part of Brazil to his part of Brazil, and he's gonna pay for his hotel and take care of everything for Deontay while they're together. And then they're supposed to go to the club tomorrow night, and they were talking about doing a meet and greet, but I'm not sure if they're for sure doing that or not. I know they're like kind of entertaining the idea, but it has not been confirmed or not. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments. Check out my lashes and cosmetics at AccordingtoAmber.com. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.